Fruit up, fruit up, fruit up, fruit up, fruit up, fruit up, fruit up. Welcome to Juice Champs, the podcast. We are here today. We back at it. We took a week off, get our mind right, but we are back here with another episode. Lashay, we got a special guest tonight. I'm gonna get straight into it. Well, before I get into it, I do want to say thank y'all for joining Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's been a wonderful time. We really having fun doing this every single week, and y'all viewers, y'all tuning in and viewing the show and participating has really helped us out a lot. So we definitely appreciate y'all for that. And with that being said, I'm gonna bring on my family, Lashay Taylor, and tonight, excuse me, we got my brother Arthur Woodard on. What's going on, family?
Peace, family. How y'all doing?
Howdy, hello.
What's up, Miss Taylor? How you feeling tonight?
I'm well. I can't complain. I got my juice. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you for Arthur. Thank you, Arthur, for being here, gracing us with your presence.
Indeed,
no problem.
Indeed.
Happy to be here.
Yes. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Arthur Woodard, my brother. Glad to have you on. Like I said, we met inside the watermelon washout. That's why Arthur's joining us tonight. Talk watermelon washout experience. Talk health in the Black community. So if y'all need to chime in, ask any questions, please put them in the chat. We want to have some fun tonight, open conversation. So Arthur, we want to start off. We always start off by letting the guests know who we got on, letting the chat know who we got on, and giving you the open floor. So let the people know who Arthur Woodard is.
Well, fam, I'm Bobby and Lashay's family, so they get to call me Arthur. I go by King Arthur.
Facts.
On all platforms, family. Facebook is my real name, Arthur Woodard. Then I go by King Arthur on Instagram, TikTok, and there's another one that's slipping my mind for some reason, X. So a little bit about me, family. Like Bobby said, I started with the watermelon. I was introduced to Bobby during the watermelon washout. A little bit about my background, though. I'm a recovering alcoholic. So that led to me wanting to get healthy and go down this path of health and wellness, fam. So that's what led me to the group. And that's where we're at, fam. So yeah.
Definitely, family. Like, what's been the biggest, like, okay, you got in the washout June 1st, right? June 1st. You say you're a recovering alcoholic. What's been the biggest transition? Like you say you're recovering, I mean you stopped. So what's been the biggest difference in alcoholism to the new life? And how bad was your alcoholism?
It was bad. I was never the type of person that was out in the streets causing trouble, breaking laws or anything like that. But I was doing damage to myself. Excessive drinking, excessive smoking, hanging out all the time, neglecting my family, just making all the mistakes. So, that was a big issue, and it just kept building and building and building and building and building. And then I just got tired of it. Enough was enough. So from that point, I decided to, pursue health and wellness and, go down that journey. So, yeah.
Watermelon washout, family. Like, one thing about it is going from what you went to, alcoholism, to joining something like the watermelon washout. And me and Lashay was in there. Me and Lashay been doing the washing out and the mono eating for over a year now. And you jumped straight into it. Let's talk about the watermelon washout. How was that experience like going into it? What was your goals going into it? And how was the experience?
Yeah, bro. Like you said, jumping straight into it. And I have a tendency, like most people, to when you want to make a lifestyle change or something like that. You know, you want to go from 0 to 100. And a lot of times that's a mistake. So for me, my personal journey getting started, I did exactly that. I went the first, let's say the first 7-8 days pretty clean. I would still throw in a raw dish. It wasn't 100% watermelon, but I wasn't eating the sad. I wasn't eating meat or dairy or any of the other stuff, processed food, anything like that. So I got off to a good start, and then I hit that wall. I hit that inevitable wall that most people hit. I got a little cocky. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. So I fell off in terms of the eating regimen. But the biggest thing I did was I stayed connected to the group. I kept showing up to the meetings. I kept, participating in the group itself, posting and communicating with people and talking and sharing my experiences. So moving to the last leg of it, I call it the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter of the watermelon washout still. So to date, I'm 11 days straight, 100% watermelon. No slip ups, no nothing. And it's been a struggle, especially the last couple of days. So that's where I'm at now. We got about 30 something more days to go. And I plan on finishing strong and having a story to tell about my 30, maybe 40-day experience with only watermelon. So, yeah.
Fire. 11 days straight right now. 11 days straight. Shouts out to 11 days, family. Give my family some love. Like I've been telling everybody, King Arthur, like these numbers that we putting up about watermelon, and Lashay can attest to this because, a lot of people in the group are on high numbers. You know what I'm saying? So 11 days straight on watermelon. That's like things we never do. The community, we never see these type of numbers that people doing straight watermelon. 1 day on watermelon is great. You know what I'm saying? You tell somebody to do 2-3 days on watermelon, that's like a cleanse that they ain't never done before. And it's like the toughest thing you ever did in your life. So definitely give yourself big props, brother, for doing 11 straight days right now. How many days did you go? Did you ever go 11 days in the beginning? Like 11 days straight in the beginning?
I've never went 11 days consistently with any type of health and wellness regimen. Whether it's working out, whether it's eating correctly, any of that stuff. That's why I'm super proud of myself. So yeah, in the beginning, it was like the first 3 days, it was clean. But then, from the fourth day to maybe 10 or 11, that's when I was, dibbing and dabbing and mixing in stuff. So, and then once you fall off the wagon all the way and go to, where, McDonald's or whatever you like to eat, that's the slope. That's the slippery slope right there. And then you stay, a lot of people stay stuck there, which is what happened with me. So we started in June. It took from about the end of June to the end of July to get back on track and to refocus.
Facts. Like it's easy to get back into them cycles if you don't stay on it. If you don't stay on it, like Lashay, you can talk about those cycles a little bit. Have you seen people in the group, Lashay, particularly, come out of the cycles that they've been stuck in?
Honestly, in the group, I can't give you an honest observation on whether or not I've seen people come out of the cycles, because a lot of people aren't going to be transparent about even being out of the cycle. People tend to disappear when they're not doing it anymore, so it's like they either show up or they don't, and people come back, and say, this is my day one, kind of after the fact type thing. So it's out of sight, out of mind for me. What came to mind though with King Arthur, you had stated that it took you from the end of June to the end of July to get back on track. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that for like legitimately like an entire month, you were just every single day eating addictively? Or were you just like, you'll have like a couple of days or a few days where you're not eating the best, but then like you'll get back on track for a couple of days or a few days and then fall back into the cycles? Like, was it like back and forth for a month, or was it just consistently you fell off the wagon and then you finally was like, all right, I'm ready to get back on track? And what made you get back on track? Was it experiencing like physical symptoms, like, all right, I need to get back on track, I don't like feeling like this? Or was it just more so like, I'm not honoring my commitment and I just want to do what needs to be done? Because some of us, we make changes and we pivot because our back is against the wall, or we change and we pivot because, we just know better and we know we just got to get back on track. So it's either a mental thing where we just self-motivate, or it's like our bodies start to break down and then we just have no choice but to get back on track again. Like, how was that for you?
Right. So a little backstory. Even when I was drinking and living worldly, I was always trying to be healthy in any fashion of life, whether it was eating, just being a good person, whatever, being a better father. So I've always had the mindset of doing better. Okay. Now, even when I was drinking and the drinking picked up and heavy, I would always have conversations with my friends and family. Like, man, we shouldn't be doing this. It was more focused towards the drinking at that time, but it was still the same mentality as far as getting better. You know what I'm saying? Just as health, from a health perspective. So once I stopped drinking, it really ramped up my wanting to learn this lifestyle. So I had already had that in me. So once the challenge started and I fell off, it was about 3 days good, 1 or 2 days bad. But those 1 or 2 days would be bad. I'm talking about like the 3 meals a day bad, super gluttony on top of snacking. And keep in mind, I drive for a living, right? So imagine people that's familiar with you always giving you something, always have some candy for you, have some food for you. So that's the type of environment that I've always been in, because I tend to get with a company and I kind of stay there. So I get familiar with the people. So, and people have always just, I don't know, just giving me things and wanting to be nice. So that was the pattern. It was 3 on, about 1 or 2 off, but it was really bad days off. Like going back to drinking. When I started, I wouldn't drink normally during the week because, you got to get up and go to work. But come the weekend, it's whatever. So that's how it was. And then in the back of my mind, I just knew that this is not what I wanted. Like I said, I've already had that mindset of being better. So I just knew it. That's just not the life I wanted. So what changed was I stopped beating myself up. I would have those experiences and then I would just move on from it. I wouldn't get too down on myself. I just said, okay, it is what it is. I've already eaten it. I've already did it. So let's just pick back up. And the best thing I did was continue to consume watermelon every single day. That's what I have done. I've consumed watermelon every single day since June 1st.
And that alone is incredible. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can stick to being consistent. Mm-hmm. Since you joined the watermelon washout and you've been in the Zoom meeting, because you was a part of the VIP where we do the Zoom meetings once a week. Yeah. What's been in your experience being in that setting with Kev, Ramon, myself, and others who doing this at a high level?
That was the true game changer. Bobby Smith, Lashay Taylor, Kev, Ramon, and a bunch of people inside the group. Shout out to everybody, man. A lot of you guys I drew inspiration from, and that was a huge help. But being inside those Zoom meetings, I was able to just be vulnerable, talk about my real experience. I feel like I've just, I haven't sugarcoated anything. So that's helped me. I haven't been in there lying. If I mess up, I'm gonna tell the group I messed up, and then that's where the community comes into play. Because, like I always say, you got a bunch of people who's gonna love on you. So being in those meetings, learning the tools from Kev and Bobby, even with Shay, it's been everything for me.
Facts. That boy Kev, that man Kev Ramon don't sugarcoat nothing. And I remember actually like one of the Zoom meetings, you and Kev had like a moment in there where he kind of challenged you on some things. And did that ever come into fruition? Anything about that? Whatever Kev challenged you on?
It's something that I'm working on. It's a personal, how do I say it? It's a relationship with my father that needs some healing. So that's something that I'm still working on, and I'm human, family. I'm human. Yeah. Like I can sit up here and say all day that I'm a be better and be more understanding and all that, but man, at the end of the day, I still got some wounds that hasn't healed. So having said that, I just lean on the information that Kev gives us, and I go with that.
I'm interested to know, King Arthur, being coming from where you come from, alcoholism, because I come from that, right? Mm-hmm. I come from alcoholism. I come from drug addiction. Come from food addiction. With that being said, though, I love what we got going on this side of life. Like I love being here. I love indulging into the lifestyle. Are you still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Like, do you still deal with some of the people that are doing that live the way you lived? And if that is the case, what's the biggest difference, right, from living the way you were to coming into this community, coming into where people are thriving and taking care of themselves at a high level? What's the biggest difference?
I'm so glad you asked that question, bro, because this is what I can help you with, family. Mindset realignment. That question is exactly what I can help you with. I'm definitely have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's been like that my whole life. Like I told you guys, even when I was drinking, I was talking to my homeboys and family, like, no, we shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. So now it's the exact same way. But the difference is I'm still holding on to habits and worldly things, so to speak. So it's rough. It's rough. When I stopped drinking, and was hanging out a little bit, not much, but still hanging out, it was good with my peer group, because they were able to, interact with me, and we would, shoot about whatever, have our normal conversations. But once I really locked in and got serious about this lifestyle, it's been night and day. It's been night and day. And that's something that a lot of people I know for a fact are dealing with. And that's why most people can't handle it. That's why they go back to doing what's comfortable, so they're not uncomfortable, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in a space now to where I have my Watermelon Washout community. I have my coaches, Bobby Smith, Kev Ramon, and that's my support group. That's my support group. Because I can't have these conversations that I have with you guys in the Zoom meetings with my friends and family. I mean, it's to the point now to where my phone doesn't even ring, and I'm good with that. But you got to be able to accept that if you really want change in your life. You got to let things go. 1 foot in, Indeed. 1 foot out is gonna be rough. It's really no way to maintain that. You have to go all the way, or just not try it.
Facts. It's been an experience, man. The Watermelon Washout, if it's anything it's taught me, is that if people struggle to live simple, but then they feel bad about not being able to do it. And I learned that about every challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy the amount of change people want to have, but they're not willing to put the work in to do it. And this watermelon washout and the challenges, they challenges to show you where you at. So to be here, to be going through these experiences that you have, what's the in the state of our community? And Lashay, I'm gonna let you chime in on this too, because I know you got some great insight. What's the number one problem in our community? I mean, like as Black folk, like when you go out there and talk to your people, and you go out there and talk to your friends and your family, and they see you making these changes and you eating all watermelon, what's their response, and what's the number one problem you see in the resistance about why these people won't change?
You want me to go?
Yeah, indeed.
For me, it's simple, and I was the same way up until May 2024. So I'm being real, family. I ain't got no reason to lie about nothing.
Facts.
Our people do not want to do the shadow work. Our people do not want to be alone. Our people don't want to stop drinking. Our people don't want to stop smoking weed. Our people don't want to start going to the same club on the same corner with the same people that they've been going for 20 plus years. Our friends don't want to talk about, our people don't, not collectively, family. We're just talking in pockets. Like we're just talking about a percent of people that's making it hard for the people that's out here doing the work. There's plenty of people doing the work. Our people are changing. We are waking up. So I'm not trying to discredit anybody. But for the most part, we don't want to get alone and do the necessary work. We don't want to stop answering our phone. We feel like we got to be there for everybody. We got to be at every party. We got to be at every smoke session. We got to be at every bar. We got to be at every event. When I come around and be like, did you know about the stock split with Chipotle? It's like I'm talking Japanese. You understand what I'm saying? So every time a serious conversation is brought to the table, we deflect.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Yeah. You got to want to be
keep going. I can keep going, but I'm gonna let Lashay go.
No. Before she chimed in, I wanted to say, in order to want to change, in order to change, you have to want to change. So in our community, I see that's one of the biggest problems. But I can also say this. I'm so glad we having the conversation with you, because it's like you have foot soldiers on the ground. Like I came in as a foot soldier, like because I had just left the world of partying, drinking, scheming, and all of that, right? So it's kind of refreshing to hear you speak to the people who like that, because I'm in the world now. When you start, you 100 days of watermelon, you talking to the fruitarians, you talking to the raw vegans, you talking to the influencers and all of that. You kind of lose track of, okay, it's still in my mind, that world really don't exist too much. The clubs, the going out and all of that. So it's like, dang, it's still people stuck in those cycles. Like Lashay could go ahead, King, because
I was just gonna say one more
about that. Go ahead.
A perfect example would be tonight. You got the Terrence Crawford fight. You got a group of 20 people minimum or maximum, depending on the space. It's mostly house parties during this type of event. So you got about 20 people inside the house. Everybody then pitched in on the bottles. Everybody then pitched in on the gluttony. Everybody then pitched in on whatever that's needed for 4 or 5 hours of just having fun. Why can't we do that same model, that same business model on financial literacy? On everybody says this lifestyle is so expensive. That same amount of money can be put into a pot and we can feed each other. I mean, it's really simple, family, when you think about it, but we just don't want to do the shadow work.
Facts.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry to say. Go ahead.
You had a video that was really insightful when you had talked about obesity and the Black community, and you were focusing on Black women, and you had pulled up some statistics. And I don't have the statistics in front of me, but so this is from the Office of Minority Health on the government website. It says about 4 out of 5 African American women are overweight or obese. So 4 out of 5. And in 2018, non-Hispanic Blacks were 1.3 times more likely to be obese as compared to non-Hispanic whites. In 2018, African American women were 50% more likely to be obese than non-Hispanic white women. Now, for me, we know that Black is excellence. We know that, we excel. Black women excel as far as getting education and getting degreed up, and we win at a lot of things. But these are statistics that I'm not proud to be winning at. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a flex, because we always like to talk about how people don't season their food, and we crack jokes about, I ain't eating everybody's this and that, and they food look bland and boring and this and that. But however you slice it or dice it, they don't have hypertension at the same levels that we do, because they're not over seasoning their foods, and they're not, walking around. I mean, okay, so let's be fair. About 70% of America's nation population is obese. But, African American women are literally winning at obesity in comparison to every race. So, when we talk about the state of the Black community, and, we had another guest previously, Renata Plant-Based, she was talking about how it's like women are important for the community. It's going to be our impact that's going to change the state of our collective disposition, so to speak, because it's going to be the African American woman in the kitchen preparing food not only for themselves but for their families, setting the tone. When African American women uphold standards for our own personal health, then now those African American men are also going to have to fall in line, because it's like men are motivated by their women. So we're the ones who have to set the standard, so to speak. I do believe that with these statistics, if we could collectively be more mindful, because I remember posting a video about it on Instagram, and it got a lot of traction. And there were a lot of people who were going in there talking about body shaming and, all this stuff, they always try to pivot and make it seem like people are being made fun of, like somebody's the butt of a joke, we're just trying, it's not that. Why do you think people are so sensitive and women are so sensitive when it comes to being serious about not just weight and obesity, but about our health? Why can't we have an adult, if we so educated, why are we not? What is the disconnect where we mentally cannot connect and just have common sense to have a serious discussion about our weight? Because if we're going to be big like that, that increases our mortality rates over time. That means that, we're very vulnerable health-wise. That means that it increases the likelihood that we can't be here to take care of the children that we brought into this world. We can't, so why are people so easily triggered when we try to talk about the health implications of carrying an excess amount of body fat? And how do we change? How do we, I guess we're kind of doing it, right? I guess being in this space, sharing our health journeys, promoting fasting, promoting having challenges. I feel like we are planting the seeds, and people are getting tired, and people are tired of being sick. But it's still interesting how it's still justified, how it's still a joke to be a big back. It's still, oh man, I ain't gonna unbig my back with this recipe. I'm gonna start tomorrow. And you go look at the comments. Everybody is cute to have a big back.
Facts.
I mean,
I
you
was
know
about
how this week. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just I was about to play that. Remember, I think on one of the Juice Chance podcasts, I played the Big Back song.
Man, you know how our people is. It's trendy. You know, whatever's trendy, we're gonna hop on it and joke about it and not take it serious until it affects you directly. But it's the same thing trying to get a heroin addict off heroin. Just go walk up to a person randomly that's on heroin or that seems to be on heroin or some type of drug and be like, you should probably stop. Most likely they're going to cuss you out. Go to the alcoholic, a full-fledged alcoholic that has to drink first thing in the morning, an alcoholic that gets the shakes when they're sober or not drinking. People literally, I've come to the conclusion, this is my personal opinion. This is not a reflection on Juice Champs. My personal opinion is that people literally don't know that food are drugs. Until we get that connection, it's going to be an uphill battle.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, and I'm dead serious. I wish I can articulate it better, but people. So if you want to go, let's just say your birthday's coming up and you want to lose weight, you instinctively know not to stop eating certain things. So I don't get it. But what they're doing is they're going through that to get a look. They're not going through that to stop eating it. So when they try to stop eating it, they realize it's a lot harder than they thought it was, but they think it's because they're not strong enough mentally. No. It's drugs. It's chemicals. It's designed to have you coming back. Literally. Why you think you go to McDonald's and right after 15, 20 minutes after you eat, you're back in the refrigerator? A lot of people know these things, but a lot of people, in my opinion, don't realize it's literal drugs. That's why Kev Ramon, go get his book, Overcoming Addictions. You have to start breaking down the ingredients, family. That's on these labels.
That's a fact. Overcoming addictions.info for that book too. Go ahead, Lashay. You wanted to say something?
And to piggyback off of that, 100% agree with you that what we call food are drugs. It's not food. Food is not addictive in its nature. Only drugs are. You don't crave food. You crave drugs because they put drugs in the food. And the Food and Drug Administration regulate the amount of drugs that is allowed to go inside of these manufactured products that's being called food. But not only are people conditioned to see drugs as food, so they're not making the connection that they're actually addicted to drugs that's being mislabeled as food, but the institutions have literally created curriculum around nutrition, dietetics with misinformation that tells people to focus more on, they've overcomplicated health. They have you worried about, you need this amount of protein, you need these amount of carbs, you need this, that. They have overcomplicated eating. They make it let them tell it. We have to have a chronometer, and we have to know exactly how many vitamins are in this of something we ate, so we know the daily intake we need to have for this and that, and the sodium and this and that. If we really had to go around being conscious of all of that every day, I can understand why people just turn their brain off and just eat whatever is accessible, because nobody got time for that. We have lives, we have to go to work, we have families, we have our hobbies, we have just things to do, right? We don't have time to be focused on that. But the institutions, they've confused us about health and nutrition. And then they tell us that, hold on, I had a thought that I just lost. So the institutions, they have this tendency to like, I'm sorry, I lost my brain, to not only confuse nutrition, but okay, they have us focusing on calories. They don't have us really paying attention. We're not taught to look at ingredients. We're not taught to look, read behind the back of a box and look at the labels and see what is inside of something. So like people are more focused on how many calories they're getting in the day. And then they're not focusing on whole food fibers. They're focusing on the percentage of fiber that's claimed to be inside of a box of Wheaties, because we're seeing fake food as food or drugs as food. So there's all this confusion. And so when people even think they're starting their health journey and they think they're on the right track, they're still eating unhealthy. Like they think wheat thins is healthy. They think that flatbreads are healthy. They think that because it's fat free or, low sodium, no sodium, sugar free, that it's healthy, but they're not focusing on the fact that it has like aspartame in it or monosodium glutamate and all of these additives and all these extra things that go inside of the stuff that we consume that we think are food. So there's like all this confusion and misinformation around what it is that we eat. So yeah, not only are we just addicted, but we're also confused, and we have been programmed and conditioned to believe that things that are not healthy are in fact healthy. And now it's like so backwards to the point now that people are finally bringing true health back into the matrix, back into the simulation. Everyone's losing their brains like, oh my God, all that sugar. And, like they act like we're going to die because we're eating all fruit, even though it's the most natural thing. And it's like the focus shouldn't be on sugar only when it comes to anything that is grown from the earth. It's so much more than that. We live on an electromagnetic planet. So it's all electricity. We're eating biophotons. We're getting true minerals that our bodies are actually made of. So when we're eating these real foods, we're actually charging our cells. Why do you think they say there's cells and a battery? We're basically complicated batteries that need certain amount of minerals in order to be charged up and operate properly, but we're putting acidic energy inside of us versus the alkaline energy inside of us that we are designed to consume. So there's like this confusion about how the human body works, what is required to power it up and to feed it. And then, they have us debating eating so-called proteins that come from dead entities, things that had to be slaughtered in order for it to be consumed. And we've been brainwashed to believe we have to consume that to get energy. When in fact, the only way you're ever going to really get energy from animal flesh is by drinking the blood of the animal. And once you've cooked it, you've killed all the nutrients from the blood. So it's like, we just live in the upside down.
Lashay, do you think what King Arthur said is true? Like people don't know that the food is drugs.
Yeah, people don't. I think there's some intellectual disingenuous aspect to that. People have cognitive dissonance. They kind of know, but they just don't care. Like that's part of the water being laced with fluoride. We just got a whole bunch of people with calcified pineal glands. They're NPCs. They just want to, and that's the truth. Because it's the health conscious people who's going to look at something and be like, what the hell is maltodextrin? What are all these filler ingredients? And people will actually defend the ingredients. If you ever look in the comment section, they'll defend them. The science nerds, they like to geek out because they've been programmed with this information in these institutions. So they think they're smarter than everybody because they have their degrees, but you paid a lot of money to be indoctrinated with information that's really pseudoscience, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I think a lot of what is being peddled as science is pseudoscience, and natural law is really the only thing that's true and real. But
yeah. And even with them trying to defend their science. All of those things are additives to the food. So we're still talking about two separate things. I think I'm gonna start me a challenge. Our people love chicken, right? That's the number one go-to is chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a challenge people. I want you to eat. I want you to go to the grocery store and get a pack of chicken. Grab 3 pieces out the package and start biting, start eating. And then go get the same. Well, I want to see it. Go get the same sides that you get and don't cook it. And just start eating. You don't love chicken. You love the seasoning. You love the ingredients. Latanya said part of it is because you need a dictionary to read what's on the package. No, just go skip all that. That's all smoke and mirrors. Just go to the ingredients. Go to that section right there. That's all you got to do.
How about if you need a dictionary to read the package, then you shouldn't eat what's on it. You shouldn't eat it. Like if you gotta look up, if you gotta feel like you need to Google an ingredient, you shouldn't be in your body.
And this ain't no knock on the community, family, coming from me. I'm with you. I promise you, I'm just like you. But we have to get out of the matrix. We have to get out of the matrix.
I think one of the things in the community a lot of people don't want to do and they don't understand. So say you watching shows like this or you listen to podcasts and you might join groups or challenges or whatever. What people don't realize is you join in and listening to the same things. You really are. Like when they don't want to do the work when it comes to listening and being repetitive, because I preach you are what you do. Show me what you do in a day and I tell you who you are. You are your habits. So if you don't sit here and indulge in the information, we teach this in the Watermelon Washout Zooms. You have to really put the information on repeat, because what you're going to be doing every day is the same thing. So you got to learn every day the same thing that you're going to be doing. And you got to learn what fruits you eating. You got to learn just like you learning what's bad in the ingredients, you got to learn about what's good from the fruits. That's how I changed my lifestyle. I started studying fruits. I started studying documentaries about what's going on in the agricultural world, like how they growing fruits and everything. So you really got to indulge in that, and a lot of people don't want to do that work, King.
And I'm glad you said that, because the other side of it is I'm an audible and visual person. So I'm watching all the YouTube. I'm listening. I'm getting better at actually knocking out books and stuff. But however, there's different ways to consume the information. So if you just need to watch YouTube channels and, do it that way, or audio books, that's good too. But continue to consume the information. Even if you slipping up, even if you're not on point, keep listening. Pretty soon it's gonna kick in.
What's King Arthur goals? Like what do you want to see? You said you're doing your next, you on day 11 of All Watermelon. Congratulations to you on that. For those who didn't know that, who just joined in, King Arthur on day 11 of All Watermelon currently. So big ups to that. What do you want to get out of this? Where do you see King Arthur at the end of the tunnel when you get done eating watermelon?
Just continuing the path of health and wellness, staying away from the sad diet, continuing to educate myself, continuing to inspire people, teach people if need be, the lifestyle. So I'm just going to keep going, and not look back, family. That's the thing. Just don't look back. You don't have to go back to that way of living. You know how you feel. That's the thing. You know how you feel. I always tell my kids to think about your future self. That's my favorite quote to my children. Think about your future self. You're not going to be young forever.
Nope. So, and if you eat right, you can feel like it. I feel younger than I ever have in my entire life. I
That's
feel
my
younger now than I have when I was actually younger. Um, Shouts out to
11.
my brother Tiger Carper in the building. Shouts out Tiger Carper. Um, what we got going on inside the Washout, what we got going inside the Fruit Up Till 5 community, everything we offering to people. Do you think people gonna get it, Art? Do you think people gonna catch on and the state of our people gonna change?
I'm a optimist, man. I would think a hopeless romantic type person. I think we will get it. I really do in my heart, but you have to stay connected. That's the key. It don't matter if you're in the watermelon washout. It don't matter if you only follow Lashay. It doesn't matter if you only follow Bobby. It doesn't matter who you follow. You have to stay connected with that peer group. Community is literally everything. Without this watermelon washout community, there's no way I would have transformed my mindset and my thought process towards the standard American diet. There's no way.
Indeed.
People know that they're eating wrong, but you need more than just that. Like, Lashay laid out.
I think the pendulum always swings in the other direction. And I think that nature always corrects and creates balance. That's like, just like we spoke about the statistics beforehand, you have over 70% of the nation that's overweight, that's obese. And, you have like our community and our community of women, 4 out of 5 Black women, African-American women are obese. I do believe that when things get so far into an extreme that there's like no choice but for there to be a correction, because it gets so bad that it has to get good. Like it gets so bad that people get sick and tired of getting sick and tired. So we naturally evolve. There's a natural evolution process. If we can't do it on our own, just based on wanting it for ourselves and wanting better for ourselves instinctually, if we can't self-correct on our own, we're going to self-correct because we're going to be forced into self-correction. But I believe that it's important for us, people like us, to continue to show up every day and plant these seeds of an alternative way of living, because you have the institutions and within the matrix that are established and they're full-time and they're funded by the billions, and their information is far more prominent and it supersedes alternative medicine and alternative ways of living. So it's on us to be the counterculture, to continue to show up every day and show people, no, you do not have to go on medication to overcome your health issues. No, that's not incurable. No, you're not going to die in 5 years. No, like all you have to do is stop living in imbalanced, unnatural lifestyle and get back to God, get back to nature. And here we're doing it. Look at me. I lost a ton of weight. I reversed illnesses. I did this. I overcame this. As long as we continue to show up, and as long as the herbalists and people start investing in these courses and start really, it always starts with us healing ourselves. And then after we heal ourselves, we can heal our nation. So I just say it's important for us to continue to be on our personal self-development journeys, and everything that we learn by healing ourselves, it's almost like we have an obligation and a duty to bring it back to our people, to our family, to our communities. So I do believe things are going to get better because they're so bad right now.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't got nowhere to go but up. And by doing the challenges, commitment, consistency, those are all the things I pride myself on. We're gonna get to where we got to get to. Man, oh man, what's up to my brother, man, oh man, King Arthur? Do you how do you right now? 11 days, all watermelon, first time ever in your life. How do you feel?
This is another teachable moment, family. Even though I've been 11 straight days, it has not been rainbows and sunshine. I feel good. The last 3 days, I've had strong cravings. I've had emotions. Angers came up. frustration, just not even being able to identify what I'm feeling. But guess what I didn't do? I didn't run to the drive-thru. I didn't run and get on the phone and be like, blah, 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 blah. I didn't trauma bond. That's what I wanted to say. I wasn't trauma bonding with anybody. You have to get alone, family, and do the shadow work.
Right.
Nobody is going to save you. And then when you get through that, okay, you hop back into the community, you talk about it, and then you keep developing your tool set to get stronger. But overall, these 11 days, I give myself a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. And man, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, real talk, because I know what it takes. And a lot of the times, like me and Kev was talking one night, we don't realize how difficult it is to come from a sad diet. Like, just come completely, like, it's like coming off the streets into, like, you know what I'm saying, therapy or something, like, or it's like you got to get straight to it. I didn't do that. Kev didn't do that. We built ourselves up to this. So the numbers that y'all committed to, 11 days, 12 days, 13 days, 70 days, I see people, we're going all the way up to 80 days, is to really be rewarded, to really be celebrated. You know what I'm saying? So what we want to do, and before I get out of here tonight, Lashay, you got anything else that you want to add to King Arthur, anything he said?
No, he's made excellent points. I agree wholeheartedly. I think I spoke my piece at this point. Yeah, you got the floor.
What you always do. King Arthur, we like to give our guests the floor. We like to celebrate them. We like to give them the opportunity to tell the people where to follow them at, what you got going on, and all of that. So whatever you want to share with the people, the floor is yours, brother.
I just hope I was able to make a little bit of sense. Started off this interview a little bit nervous, family. I felt like I loosened up and started just being myself. What I always say, fear is false evidence appearing real, family. I'm going to say that till the wheels fall off. Y'all, pretty soon, y'all going to be able to finish that quote. You can find me on Instagram, X, and TikTok at King Arthur. I will start ramping up my content on those platforms. Arthur Woodard on Facebook. The biggest thing you can do for yourself if you're serious about this journey and this lifestyle is to not strive for perfection, family. Do not strive for perfection. Also, stop trauma bonding. Stop trauma bonding. Stop waiting to tell somebody how sorry you feel for yourself, how you can't get right, how you can't eat clean, how you can't do this, how you can't do that. Just do the work. Get into a community. Get you some coaching. Everybody talks about they can't afford something. That's for the better. But you stay with the new clothes, new shoes. You stay with marijuana. You stay with alcohol. You stay being able to go out. So it's not about the money, family. It's about the mindset. To my fellas, I know I'm a little long-winded here. This book really helped me. Man, Heal Thyself. Supernova Slum, and Queen of Four. I know a lot of people are familiar with this.
Indeed.
This is an excellent book, man, to start shifting the mindset. Like Bobby and Kev and other people say, it's not just about watermelon. It's really the back burner of this. The watermelon is like the secondary thing. We're about mindset and shifting the mindset, family. Fruit up. Keep this on deck.
Look at him, my brother King Arthur. King Arthur, you are truly on the front lines. Remind me a lot about my story when I came onto the internet. And you know, some of the things you even say are like very similar to some of the things I used to say when I first got on the internet. And it's refreshing to see people like you starting the journey, enthusiastic about it and showing the people, because it's like it reminds me like I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? And I love the transition that our people are going through. So you've been on the front lines, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep growing. Keep inspiring. Keep challenging yourself. And like you said, keep putting that content out there. I'm looking forward to your growth. I'm proud of you, and thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Man, thank you guys for having me, man. This was fun. Anytime, man. I'm here if you call, brother.
Indeed. This will not be the last time y'all see my brother King Arthur. Y'all know how we give it up at Juice Champs. We had to take a week off, but we back at it. We going full throttle now. Lashay Taylor always bringing the fire. Thank you, sis, for bringing it on tonight. How you feeling about the show tonight, sis?
It was great. I'm glad we got to touch on important topics. We just keep it real here, and I love that we discuss things that are uncomfortable to talk about, and I'm glad that we have a platform where we can be candid and we can just give it real and raw without people getting offended, because we're not here to offend. We're really here to just plant seeds and help evolve our community and evolve the planet. Like it's shifting anyway. We might as well shift with it, or we just gonna fall off.
Facts. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate everybody for joining the Juice Champs Fruit Up, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We will be back next Saturday with another fire episode. With that being said, Fruit Up. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Love you guys.